Welcome back to another episode of the Hardcore Casual with your boy Bass the Kid. Not really sure where I'm gonna go with this one. Brain's a little all over the place at the moment, but we'll see what we get into. So as usual, please like and subscribe, hit that notification button, and yeah, just share with a colleague, a friend, a relative, an enemy, an associate, and anyone in between. Without further ado, let's get into it. So I'm pretty sure everyone's seen the JuliusFrancis video by now, him being at Box Park with the Asian brother getting a bit leery, you know, with his skinhead white friend as well, and the other black guy looked like a bit of a hipster. All seem to be causing a bit of problems, bit of commotion from all intents and purposes, and reports that have come out. They were spitting at people, hitting people inside the Box Park, obviously getting a bit leery with the, with all the security guards. Lo and behold, one of them gets a bit aggy on Julius. He steps back, trying to stay away from the guy. Guy keeps approaching. Check left hook to the jaw. Guy's out on the floor. Subsequently, from that moment, the police then came out and said that they will be taking no further action after getting all the witness reports, seeing the CCTV footage as well as the other footage that was recorded, and the owner of Box Park coming out and saying that he stands with Julius. He won't be losing his job or going on suspension or any type of leave unless he wants it. And to all of that, I've just got one thing to communicate. The brother had it coming. Everyone did everything they could to defuse the situation, to not get aggressive and to not get physical. But he swung on other people, he assaulted other people. Lo and behold, got his jaw rocked, and he proved that he weren't really about that life. And his friend, exactly the same, because he was getting all aggy with the smaller bouncer, with the small Asian guy. But as soon as, he saw his friend on the canvas, all of a sudden he didn't really want that smoke anymore. He calmed down really quick. That's what you gotta do with bullies. Like, I'm not condoning violence of any sort, but when people, like they say, when they go low, you go lower. And in that case, his jaw got taken to the pits of hell, and I'm all for it. I'm gonna leave that one there, but yeah, salute to Julius. Hope he's good. I'm glad that nothing's happening to him. Police are doing their job properly for once, and yeah, the fact that I hope he gets a pay rise, if I'm honest, but that's maybe a bit too much for me to hope for. Anyway, all good. So about a week ago now, Mr. Ben Shalom got pictured in leaked footage, we shall say, of him going to one sports boxing channel, telling them, no Eddie Hearn questions, no DAZN questions, no Anthony Joshua questions before the interview started. And that subsequently got leaked out. Now, whether they leaked it themselves or someone else got a hold of the raw footage and decided to drop it, a bit irrelevant. Ben Shalom tried to defend it, saying, well, look, I'm not really in this to kind of get drawn into these back and forths. Yeah, sometimes it's entertaining to watch, but I don't want to be a part of it, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. But the problem is you're now on camera showing that you censor the press that come to your events, or you censor the questions that you get asked. One thing people in the game and the fans want is transparency to a relative degree, or at least an attempt to answer the tough questions, to be shown that you don't shy away from the problematic questions or the hard answers, because that makes you more relatable. They feel that they can connect with you a bit more. Now, clearly the best person at this is Eddie Hearn, and to a lesser extent Adam Smith as well, because as far as I'm aware, I don't really know if he necessarily tells people that he doesn't want them to ask him certain questions. But I mean, to be honest, in a Adam Smith interview, you can only ask maybe 2 questions anyway, because he will spend like 5 minutes on some mad tangent before answering the question, and then he'll go off on another tangent before you ask the next one. So I mean, maybe that's his tactic to get away from answering those difficult questions. But you know, Eddie, sometimes he might do a little spin job, sometimes he might say, you know, well, I can't really get into it, and then he'll get into it anyway in a different type of way. But ultimately, it's a lot easier and a lot better if you was to come on camera, someone asks you the question and say, I can't answer that right now, or I don't know anything about it, it would be wrong for me to give a comment, or something along those lines. At least that way you're showing that you're happy to face the critics. Now, while I'm not saying that what Ben did was wrong, because ultimately it's his choice, but people don't feel like they can relate to people that want to be shielded or want to act like they're not the same as everyone else. I mean, I saw a Chris Andre video a couple days ago, and I actually agree with Chris, whereby if I was Ben, I would have done that on camera and just said, I don't want to answer those questions, or I can't answer those questions for legal purposes, or I literally know nothing of what's going on, that's above my pay grade. Anything like that would have been much better than trying to get those questions vetoed before the interview even starts. But that also being said, the person who did leak that footage, if it was in fact the same channel that leaked it, that's also bad, because again, that's a breach of trust. People kind of classify that as, meaning that you've got no scruples, you're unscrupulous, for lack of a better word. You're not trustworthy, therefore you might be restricted access moving forward, because people don't feel like you're deserving of whatever platform you have. Either way, no matter how it goes, it's not really anything that I can really give too much thoughts on either side. But yeah, probably wasn't handled the best way by either party, but hopefully lessons are learned for next time. So yesterday, it was shown up that Hughie Fury has pulled out of the Michael Hunter fight, which was scheduled to take place on the 2nd of July. I mean, I'm shocked. A Fury pulling out of a fight? That never happens, does it? I mean, look, to give him some credit, apparently there's some kind of illness. He, to be fair, does look like the kind of person that suffers from some form of condition or illness. You see the amount of sort of acne on his skin. Sometimes the way his weight fluctuates. There's probably something that is slightly wrong with him, which is fair enough. But I mean, yeah, I feel bad for Michael Hunter. As a lot of people know, he was like one of my favorite fighters up until maybe the end of 2019, start of 2020. The whole Filip Hrgović thing, I can't look past it the same as a lot of other people can't. He hasn't, obviously he had that Mike Wilson fight, which was a nothing fight for him, but then didn't look great against Jerry Forrest in the rematch for whatever reason, don't know. Haven't seen much of him since. The whole Triller thing doesn't seem to have panned out the way it needed to. So I want to see him back in, back in good graces, and hopefully he can, realistically, I would like for him to be able to get another fight in the interim before that fight gets rescheduled, if possible, but more than likely have to go straight into it. However, he was on Twitter saying, well, give me Joseph Parker, Tyson, you want to come out of retirement for a fight, even give me Tommy Fury. Like, he just said, look, well, I'll take any of them at this point. And it might be a case of you call out all three of them, you might just about get one of them in the ring. Who knows? I guess, and they say Joseph Parker, he seems to be an honorary Fury these days, so just as good. And to be honest, the Joseph Parker fight is a much more entertaining fight than the Hughie Fury one, and it's a lot more dangerous for both guys. So I would actually prefer to see that one, to be totally honest. But it is what it is, and I guess we wish Hughie Fury a speedy recovery, and so this fight can get on, get itself up and motivated, so that way at least we can then see the winner of that fight face Daniel Dubois, because there's no way he's going to relinquish that regular title before he gets a shot at the Super Champs. So yeah, all good. Let's see where we go from there. And speaking of the Furies, I guess the best way to end this video will to be speaking about Tyson's, I guess, what was it, an interview with Frank Warren the other day. Now, I haven't watched it and I don't care to, but I've got enough of the quotes to kind of understand what it was. He wants £500 million to come out of retirement and deal with Alexander Usyk after he knocks at Anthony Joshua again. Robert Garcia and 10 people like him couldn't train Anthony Joshua to beat Usyk. Usyk's a middleweight and he'll show him what a real heavyweight's like. He's gonna hold on to the WBC belt for the next year because he can. He's satisfied his mandatory, so he doesn't have to relinquish it even though he's retired. And he said he's not holding up the division because he is the division, blah blah blah. This is all stuff I've basically heard secondhand. As I said, I won't be doing the research as to what he said, how he said it, the nuances or anything, because he doesn't particularly interest me like that. But yes, as everyone else has said, I will repeat, like, this is the worst retirement ever. It has to be the worst retirement ever in the sport of boxing. Like, Mayweather used to retire for 2-3 years at a time and then come back, or 18 months, but he was quiet for a period of time. Like, he wasn't still in the limelight. This is almost a bit reminiscent of Mayweather in his current state, where he's like, oh, no more exhibitions after the Logan Paul fight, and then less than a month later you heard about he was going to be doing an exhibition in the United Arab Emirates, which fell through, to then having to do one in Dubai with his sparring partner like a month later after that, or 2 months after that, and then another one and another one. So it's just like, it's like these people, they say they don't want to be in the spotlight, they're done with the sport, they don't love the adulation, or they just want to go home to the wife and kids, be family men, or whatever, however you phrase it. But all they ever do is just be out in the spotlight talking rubbish, like contradictions left, right and center. And it's actually a skill to be able to contradict yourself in the exact same sentence. It's almost like me saying, yeah, I love red, but blue's my favorite color. Actually, no, that's not even a great one, because that was not actually a contradiction. That's just me. That's a smart answer. I wish that's kind of how the answers went with them, or with Tyson. A better one would probably be like, blue's my favorite color, but now it's red, in the same sentence. That's probably a better comparison. But yeah, to be honest, I haven't really got time for it. Like, when he finally comes out of retirement after the Usyk Joshua fight, yeah, we'll see then. I still don't think he's gonna fight Usyk if Usyk wins that fight. Joshua, he probably will, because the money would be too good to turn down. But outside of that, I've got no more interest. So I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna upload this. I am going to go to the gym late today, and then I've got another video that I'm going to be uploading tomorrow afternoon, or tomorrow evening. So yeah, let me leave it there for now. Thanks everyone for watching, and Hardcore Casual out.